Hello, and welcome to Studio 415.
On today's show, you will see how police and firefighters storm CHS in an active shooter exercise.
You'll hear about how administrators are changing the way that Carroll students stay safe.
And you'll be introduced to 2 different clubs at CHS.
All of that and more coming up next. Welcome to Studio 415. I'm Peyton Monell.
And I'm Ethan Honeycutt. The question of how to respond to mass casualty events has been debated in recent years, with more problems happening. Now training has been made to ensure everyone knows how to react.
Local departments and Carroll employees underwent such training to ensure Northwest Allen is as safe as it can be. Studio 415 reporter Demi Wilhelm has more on the story.
911, what is the address of the emergency?
This is a drill, this is a drill, this is a drill. Shots fired at Carroll High School.
On Saturday, February 24th, NACS administrators, the Huntertown Fire Department, and the Allen County Sheriff's Department participated in several exercises at Carroll High School. This training was a continuation of a session held in November. However, this session went beyond medical training and included an active shooter scenario. The participants reviewed what was learned at the November meeting, while student volunteers were given fake wounds. These wounds were made using makeup and fake blood. They included bruises and gunshot wounds, both fatal and non-fatal. Their purpose was to add an element of realism to the exercises. The volunteers were spread around the building and given specific roles to play.
I was one of the guys who was shot but was still alive, and so it was more of like there was one point where I was trying to get into a door, but I was shot, so I just laid by the door and waited for help to come.
The job of the participants was then to practice coordination between all 3 departments in high-stakes situations.
It taught us how to enter a building, with who, how many, how to treat life bleeding that may occur, and it would definitely help us to extract and get patients out of the structure to a hospital much quicker.
The training included 3 scenarios. In both the first and second scenarios, there were less than a dozen students concentrated in the 1012 library, and participants had to judge how to approach the situation. In the third scenario, the students were dispersed throughout the hallways from the grand staircase to the library, as well as in the English wing. NACS Chief Operations Officer John Miller posed as a shooter, using a track starter pistol, to make the situation as real as possible. Administrators updated the police and fire departments about the situation. They even called 911 to see how a call would take place. Once sure of their safety, administrators could also help others. The job of the police and fire departments is more active. The police check for threats and escort the emergency medical technicians into the school to evacuate students. While the EMTs work, the police continue searching the cleared area for more victims.
I think that, people need to practice what they're going to do in a situation that's going to be high stress, very tense, and so I think that just running through it a couple times would really be good to prepare.
Many found that the intensity made this training feel real for everyone involved.
Just to have SWAT guys, stepping over you, to have EMS, run into your aid, I had a SWAT guy drag me out of the hallway just to get me to protection. Just the things, how real it felt. It's almost as this, a little bit of reality was kind of kicking in.
At first, it was all laughs and giggles and whatnot, and as soon as we heard the first gunshot, it was that's for real. And after that, it was super serious.
The student volunteers felt safer after seeing the training that the first responders went through.
I feel really safe knowing that they have taken all the precautions and all the administrators know what to be done if this would happen.
Although impossible to be 100% prepared, participants today are now leaving with confidence in their abilities to respond to situations like this. For Studio 415, I'm Demi Wilhelm.
Recent attacks on schools in the United States have sparked the attention of many worried parents, teachers, and faculty throughout the Carroll High School community.
I had the chance to speak with many administrators about our future in security and what steps are being taken to make Carroll a safer place. On February 14th, a gunman opened fire on Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. Due to this attack, new safety criteria has been added to many schools, including Carroll High School. CHS plans to follow an informed response, which allows all staff members to frequently communicate throughout the average school day and during procedures. Chief Operations Officer John Miller says that to eliminate concerns, we need to continually practice.
So what we need to do to answer your question is practice. The way you get communication from one place to another, you can get radios in place, you can have different protocols, but what you need to do is practice that communication in different scenarios.
Northwest Allen County Schools' new focus in emergency situations is going to be a fast response and a fast information exchange. They feel the best way for students to stay safe is not to practice the robotic response that has been drilled into them for years, but to create a greater emphasis on an informed and intelligent response.
Key to that is to not be routine. We need to, as a school district, practice in our buildings in a way that's very purposeful. We need to think about who we need to challenge and how we need to challenge them and create scenarios that cause us to figure out what we do well and what we need to work on.
NACS and Carroll specifically are very expansive in their security protocols, with cameras in nearly every corridor and locks on all doors. Entry from outsiders without admittance from the office is nearly impossible, as well as help from 3 SOR officers that spread their time throughout NACS to ensure safety.
It's challenging, but I think we've got good staff. Our SRO is excellent. I'm not just saying that because she's got a gun. She does a wonderful job, and I think I think we do a good job managing it.
With the extensive protocols, the pre-existing safety measures are very reliable in everyday situations. However, Assistant Principal Michael Lackland feels there is always room for improvement.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where you can always do better, and we'll continue to study what's going on. Some of that's with products. There's a lot of people who are coming up with new ideas and technology that can help make schools safer.
Lackland and other district personnel have been contacting teachers and faculty to help in the implementation and preparation of any circumstances. On Tuesday, March 6th, a fire occurred in the manufacturing room, allowing staff members to put the new criteria into their safety procedures. Maya Vanderhagen believes that this surprise procedure was handled very efficiently and professionally.
I do think it was handled very well. The teacher I was with at this time was very careful and gave us a lot of direction, and we felt very safe with it.
Along with the unplanned fire, Carroll High School plans to hold an active shooter drill in the near future to collect data to increase the safety around CHS.
Yeah, it would just be to give everybody the experience. We would be actually calling out information as to what the person looked like, where they were, anything that we saw them carrying. And then we would want to see how our teachers and students respond to that, and if we need to have follow-up conversations, and if we see things taking place that aren't appropriate, then we would obviously have to, to kind of retrain folks on that.
CHS plans to continue improving safety techniques and communication. If you have any concerns, please feel free to contact an administrator or any school resource officer. For Studio 415, I'm Peyton Manel. There are many clubs at Carroll that focus on positivity and joy. These clubs help bring an atmosphere of acceptance and enjoyment to the school.
Now, a new unique club has joined the ranks. Studio 415 reporter Tommy Moulter takes us behind the scenes for more.
The Enlightened Club was started last year by former Carroll student Reagan Tippie and has seen a massive growth since its beginnings. The most recent meeting, held back in February of this year, saw a turnout of nearly 150 students hosted in the 1012 cafeteria. The main aim of the club is to provide a place for teens to come together and feel more like a family.
One of my goals is just to see the love of Christ to be manifest, to have people understand there's hope and there's joy and there's peace.
I just want to see some change through our school and our school feel more like family and be closer.
Since the club is not affiliated or sponsored by Carroll High School, meetings are held after school every 9 weeks. The fees for the food provided come from the club leaders rather than the members, making the event free for all those who want to attend.
But this year it's just been kind of like leaders pitching in like $7 a piece, and then if we have 20 leaders, 20 times 7, it adds up, so we're able to get the pizza.
The events hosted include 9 Square, Cornhole, and small singing groups as the main attractions. After predicted attendance has reached its peak, the members meet for a group prayer and break into the food, followed by a small music performance and personal testimonies of faith told by the members.
Anyone of any religion, you don't even have to be Christian to come. It's just kind of for anyone just to come and just feel welcome and just feel like family. It's just a place of community.
The leaders come together after the school day to clear away tables and prepare the cafeteria for the night. Since many Carroll sports end around 5:30, The club meeting begins at 7:30 and the doors remain open until it ends at 9 o'clock.
Definitely come on a Wednesday meeting when you hear on the announcements, and it's not leaders only. Definitely grab some friends and come to our meetings and see what we're all about. I think you'll have a lot of fun.
For more information, talk to any of the Enlightened leaders or listen to the announcements for when the next meeting will be held. For Studio 415, I'm Tommy Moulter.
From the rev of the engine to the screech of the tires, for the Car Meets Club, this is more than just sound.
This group comes together to bond over their motors. Studio 415 reporter Leah Wells spoke with the founder and brings us the story.
The Car Meets Club is new to Carroll High School this year. With nearly a dozen members, they meet on Wednesdays in homeroom. The club is intended for those who have a passion for working on and learning about cars. Members of the club use the time to discuss how cars run and how they can find a job in the workforce working with them. Club leader Isaac Villavicencio began the club in the beginning of the school year in hopes of bringing together those that share his passion. He explains his purpose for creating the club was to give those with his passion a place to explore it.
Attract attention to the club, bring more people, get more people to get an interest in cars, or if people already have an interest in cars, to bring them in and, kind of give them an idea of what the culture's like.
Isaac has had an interest in cars his entire life, sparked by his father, who enjoyed working on lowriders. The club leader now builds and works on fast cars in his free time, as well as spending part of his school day learning about cars in the Anthus program. Isaac hopes to help those with questions about cars and to share the culture that surrounds them. Other club members join to expand their knowledge and to meet others like themselves.
I joined Car Meets because I thought I wanted to learn more about cars, and it sounded interesting, and it's kind of a new club, and you want to grow those clubs to make them bigger.
Isaac leads the class in conversations by explaining the basic mechanics of cars. Although many members have a high understanding of them, each person is at a different level, and club leader Isaac does his best to meet all of their needs. He also uses videos to help visualize and entertain members. As a club, they hope to meet outside of school and spend time with their own cars, which is a way for each member to express themselves.
Cars are, for a lot of us, they're more than just a vehicle. It's more of a connection between a person and their car. It shows a lot of their personality. It shows more of the person's character.
For students interested in joining the Car Meets Club, anyone can join no matter their experience. The club meets on April 11th in Mrs. Barron's room number 202. For Studio 415, I'm Leah Wells.
That's all we have for today. Thanks for watching.
Check out our other videos on YouTube at Carroll High School TV Department.
For all of us here at Studio 415, have a great week, Carroll.